Ooh, sure, it's cold. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world. What is poppin', lockin', and what is droppin', baby? Welcome back to the channel, back to the series, and most specifically to this video. So, I got some news for you guys. So, this is a little different from my workouts videos because I don't really have any workout footage. I actually filmed pull day, and I did that on Wednesday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, last week, because I'm filming us on Sunday. But I have unfortunately ran into a little bit of an issue with that. Well, I was prepping myself for the week for video making, and I heard a weird crunch noise. And I looked over. This guy decided to eat my SD card. So, I just lost part 2 of my grocery haul, as well as my pull day videos. Oh my gosh. I mean, I bought another SD card to be like, you know, in case I forgot it, but he literally ate my SD card. It was on the edge of the table, and he ate it. So I lost all that footage. I was in the kitchen, and I put my SD card on the edge of the table. This was after I ate dinner that Wednesday evening from one of my meal preps, and what ended up happening was I heard a loud crunch. And so I looked over, and my dog, come here, let's go, come here, go right now. This one right here, I heard a loud crunch from him. And so I looked over, because usually what he does is he takes his food from his bowl, carries it over, drops it on the floor, and eats it. So I was like, oh, no biggie, whatever. And so I continued on, and I came back, and my SD card was missing from the corner of the table. I was like, ooh. So what we ended up doing was he ate my SD card. He probably thought it was a crumb of food or something from my dinner, and he ended up eating it. So I was like, oh, that's nice. So most of my workout footage disappeared. So I think for this one, we're going to do something a little bit different. I'm just going to read based off of my notes. So I do apologize that this is a different variation of this workout video. It's a little bit shorter, but I do have some posing, which I actually get to posing here in a little bit. But without further ado, let's go over some notes. Pull day, where we had the lat pull downs, and we got 1 rep out of that. So we got 8 reps total with the same weight of 165 pounds. Pretty good. We're still increasing with our reppage and our weight. All that matters. Then we got machine rows. We gained 1 rep on that as well. So we got 8 reps with a total weight of 109 pounds. So that one's kind of weird because I guess it's more weight in kilograms. So they measure it up, but it rounds up to 109 pounds, 108.45 or 55 or something like that. But basically just 109 pounds. But eventually I want to migrate from that machine row to the ones where you put the plates on the side. So to do more ISOs, so we're kind of more excited for that. And then so we've actually tried out a new machine. So it's a pullover machine. So it's kind of one of those where you sit down and you do this with it. Looks like you're putting a seatbelt on when you put on a roller coaster. It's pretty cool. I'll put a picture of it somewhere. But that's a new machine, new exercise, your new style exercise. So that was 128 pounds because it was 18 pounds for the bar itself, and I believe it was 245s and 225s. So that's what came up with that. And I did 10 reps of that. So I'm thinking the following week, we could probably do more weight, but I just got to figure out how to increase the weights on that. But I feel a lot more on my lats, but also works a little bit of your triceps and a tiny bit of your shoulders, which is pretty sweet. And then we got the ISO delt flies. We've actually increased a little bit of weight on that. So we went up 2.5 pounds, which is really cool. So that's a grand total of 20 pounds. And that was 8 reps. But for that one, what I did was I changed to the same machine. I do the bicep curls and the chest rotations, but I just do the independent ones. So I do feel a lot more on my rear delts as well. So the bicep curls, we're at neutral with, what do I have? 50 pounds, but we're doing 10 reps of those. So really good for the biceps. Just make sure you get that big stretch when you curl up. Reverse grip barbell curls. There we go. I was trying to think of the names, but we actually managed to go up weight on that. So we're at 50 pounds for that, but with 8 reps. So which is sweet for that. And then for the assisted pull-ups, actually, one thing I'm doing is, and I kind of figured this out last week as well. So except for the assisted pull-ups, I'm going to see how many pull-ups I can do just body weight. And I actually managed to do 4, which is kind of cool. I think the last rep was kind of a cheat rep, but so I think I'm going to do as many as I can, and then I'll probably do 4 or 5 sets of how many pull-ups can I do. So I think that'll really practice my pull-up thing. The same with dips, but I'll get down to a minute. And of course, we're going to end it with 10 minutes of rowing for the burnout as well. So that's pretty much it for pull day, though. Some improvements there, which is always great. But I also put up a picture of my notes on here on the side, too. I would always recommend taking notes when you're working out. So just keep a record of what you did and what you improved on, because not only does it make you feel better, but it's a lot easier to keep track when you go to the gym. So push day, we did that on Thursday. And then we did the incline ISO press machine. So we actually increased a rep with 85 pounds. So we got 7 reps for that guy. So we changed for the previous week, we've actually changed over from seated to standing overhead presses. And we kept neutral for that with 105 pounds with 7 reps. Still pretty good. So for chest rotations, so that's when I do the lower, the mid, and the upper chest. So we've actually increased 10 pounds for that. So for lower, so we had 60 pounds for that. We did 8 reps of that. For middle chest, we actually went up another 10 pounds as well. So we went from 40 to 50 pounds. And then we did 8 reps of that. For the upper chest, we actually went from 8 reps to 10 reps with 30 pounds. So the upper chest is a lot smaller of a muscle, so a little bit less weight, but we just got to be practicing on our form for that. Always remember that. So for our lateral raises, we actually went up 2 reps with the 17.5 pounds, so now we're at 10 reps for that. That's a very tough exercise, I will admit, so I don't think we're really going to be increasing that one as much, as the lateral raises will definitely humble you, but the fact that we can do 10 reps of 17.5 says a lot. And then for our tricep pushdowns, we went up 2.5 pounds. So we went from 65 to 67.5. And we did 10 reps of that for the full bar tricep pushdowns. The overhead tricep extensions, we actually went up 5 pounds. So we did 8 reps of that. Well, I was really excited for. So that's, I believe, 32.5 pounds for that one. So very fantastic to see about that, because I'm actually starting to really like the exercise. The overhead one, it gets more of a stretch. The overhead versus going up, down low like that. So, but you just got to make sure you're positioned the little reel attachment to about hip level, so that way you get somewhat of a stretch, but you're not going down all the way, because it adds a lot of tension to your arms. So that's why you want to keep it, I think, like hip level. And then for the dips, we did bodyweight dips. I believe I did 8 dips bodyweight, but so when I start doing that, of course, I'm going to have to keep track of that too. I think it's a lot more achieving to do that way too, with the pull-ups as well as the dips. Just do body weight and then see how many I can do. So 8 dips and then 4 on the pull-ups. And then to finish it off, we did the 10-minute sprint burnout. Also, I forgot to mention, for pull day, we actually aren't doing rows anymore. We're doing Stairmasters, and I did last week. So I got to update my notes for that, actually. Make sure it says Stairmaster except for rows, because I can't stand rows. Rows suck. And then finally, last but not least, we did a glorious leg day here on Friday. Leg day is one of my favorite exercises, or workout group days, I guess. But leg days are great, so let's go over legs. So we started off with the sumo squats, of course, with the 185, a grand weight increase from 2 weeks ago, but we actually went up a rep on that, so we are at 7 reps now. Again, we're always improving, and that's all we need. For deadlifts, we're still at 225, but we did go up a rep on that as well, which is fantastic. So we got 7 reps, 225 on the deadlift, but of course using the hooves because my grip strength's not there yet. For the glute drives, we are the 185 still, but we increased our rep on that. So now we did 7 reps with those glute drives, like leg extensions. We actually went up 10 pounds. So we went from 145 to 155, which is really cool. So we have 8 reps of the 155 for the leg extensions, which works out the quads. And then for leg curls, we actually went up 10 pounds as well for that. So now we have 8 reps of that. So we went from 120 to 130 because I felt comfortable doing the 10 rep for 120. So we tried 130 and we were pretty good with it. So 130 for the leg curls for that at 8 reps, of course. With the adduction and abduction superset, for adductions, so I'm trying to remember, adductions is when you, all right, well, I'm trying to do the motion. You're kind of weird, in a really weird position for me to do it right now. So, but the adductions, I believe, is when you close in, and then abductions is when you open out. So, adductions works your inner thigh. So, we're 120 pounds for that, and neutral at 10 reps. But for the adductions, works more your booty cheek. We actually went up 20 pounds on that, so we're at 140 for that, and we did 10 reps of that. Because my gluteus maximus is spectacular, so that's why I can increase weight for that. And then calf presses, of course, we did, that one's going to be a little odd because I feel like I could do body weight for those plus, and then I added 45 pounds on top of that. So calf presses I consider one of those body weight exercises, but adding a 45 pounds really does it for the glutes when we talk about the calves. So, but just bunny hopping on those, increase weight really helps. What do you want? Really helps with the adding a little bit more stress to the calves, which of course gives it a better shape. So we do that for the calves, and then for the fan bike, we obviously did the 10-minute on that. The fan bike was actually available this time because the last couple weeks, because the gym only has one fan bike, which I find immaculate. So they have one fan bike and then they have one like normal bike. But I like the fan bike because it works your arms and your upper body as well. So it was finally available, and of course. But I usually take a picture of that with my phone, but because I didn't have my SD card with me for a couple of days, I was just like, well, what's the point of that? But I'll also throw my posing up here as well, so, which I want to get into it a little bit. So there's going to be another video in the future kind of explaining about posing. It's something I really want to try out and practice a little bit more, so I'll probably start doing a series of that. But I'll explain that a little bit more on my weigh-in video that you guys will be seeing later on this week. But the good thing about the gym is trying to improve on your weights and reps. That's exactly what we are looking for within this fitness journey. But that's pretty much it for this week. I know, sorry, we're going to go really too much in depth and there's no visuals for this week, but I promise you next week, so next week I'm actually not going to be doing any gym because it's going to be very cardio heavy. This is the Monument 10K coming up this weekend, so I'm more sacrificing my gym progression for cardio this week, and then the week after that we'll obviously go back with the gym grind. That is right, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world. But that'll be it for this what am I talking about weigh-in? This will be it for my gym session video, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world. So I appreciate you so much for tuning in. If you were liking the journey, liking the series, make sure, there you go, I can't talk. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share with others that are willing and wanting to start their fitness journey. We're on the internet, so we gotta learn to take it. Comment anything positive or negative, as I would like to take your guys' suggestions and opinions so I can try to incorporate into my journey to see if they work for me. But ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world, thank you once more again for tuning in to the series and to the channel. Stay disciplined, stay focused, and I'll catch you guys on whatever I upload next. Peace.